Football rivalries are more than just a game between two teams. They are deeply rooted in identity, culture, and history. Today, we explore 10 of the world's fiercest football rivalries, matches that unite and divide millions, with emotions often running high in dramatic ways. From South America's legendary Super Clásico to Egypt's explosive Cairo Derby, these matches mean a lot more than any single trophy can. They're battles for pride, culture, and sometimes even survival. Here are the rivalries that turn stadiums into battlefields, and the players into heroes or villains. Number 10. Borussia Dortmund versus Schalke 04. The Revier Derby between Schalke has traditionally been a beacon of hard-working spirit, while Dortmund boasts some of the most passionate fans in the world and the iconic Yellow Wall. Although Dortmund's recent success dwarfs that of Schalke, the disdain remains unchanged. For fans, a Revier Derby win often means more than any victory in the Bundesliga. In every match, these teams take to the field with the pride of their respective regions, and the angst echoes across Germany. Number 9. Olympique Lyonnais versus AS Saint-Étienne. The Rhône-Alpes Derby in France sees Olympique Lyonnais pitted against AIC Saint-Étienne. These two cities, just 60 kilometers apart, feel like two different worlds. Lyon is middle class, modern, and cosmopolitan, while Saint-Étienne holds dear its working class values and traditional pride. This socio-economic Lyons fan displays often pride themselves on the city's affluence and modern culture. At the same time, Saint-Étienne fans adore their blue-collar attitude. Number 8. Galatasaray versus Fenerbahce. The Intercontinental Derby in Istanbul between Galatasaray and Fenerbahce is the most eagerly awaited football event in Turkey since its foundation in 1909. With the notoriously passionate fans supporting them, both clubs are considered the most successful in Turkish football. Thus, every match between them is a fight for supremacy. This rivalry almost ended in 1913 with a proposed merger, but its failure only fueled the tension. Nowadays, the Derby is among the most passionate in football, often spilling into city-wide celebrations or conflicts. One of the most infamous incidents occurred in 1996, with Galatasaray's manager Graham Souness planting his club's flag on Fenerbahce's pitch, an act that sparked riots and showed just how deep the emotional connection of fans to their teams runs. Number 7. Lazio versus Roma. What has made the Derby della Capitale between Lazio and Roma so special, other than the immense pride of a city, is that all these teams shared the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. First run in 1929, the derby reflects Rome's divided identity. Lazio traditionally represented the wealthier north of Rome, while Roma's origins were humbler and from the south. This geographical and social divide brings a serious sense of loyalty and rivalry within the city. The competitive spirit quite often spills over beyond the stadium. The tensions have peaked throughout the years, notoriously in 2004, when riots by fans led to the abandonment of a match. Number 6. Nacional versus Peñarol. The Uruguayan Clásico between Nacional and Peñarol is one of the defining fixtures in South American football. Both clubs, which have won almost 100 domestic league titles between them, have battled it out for dominance in Uruguay for over a century. Most of their games take place in the Estadio Centenario, where fans bring huge flags and dramatic pyrotechnics. This fixture is a grand spectacle of colors, chants, and unwavering support, setting a perfect stage for the essence of Uruguayan football. Fans don't look towards this derby with expectations to win, but to show loyalty to tradition. Number 5. Al Ahly versus Zamalek. In Egypt, the Cairo Derby between Al Ahly and Zamalek takes on an almost national dimension. These clubs have contested each other for dominance in Egyptian and African football with much passion, making their rivalry one of the most watched in the region. Representing Cairo, both clubs originate from this city, while their fan base represents different cultural and social differences, adding to the rivalry. With a record 43 league titles and 11 KF Champions League honors, Al Ahly gets the tag as the most successful club in Africa, yet Zamalek has always played second fiddle to their dominance. Al Ahly versus Zamalek matches attract millions of viewers across Egypt and the Arab world, reflecting their massive impact. Number 4. Partizan Belgrade versus Red Star Belgrade. The Serbian Večiti Derby is one of the powerhouses of Partizan Belgrade versus Red Star Belgrade, dating way back into history. Both clubs were established in the year 1945, and in no time emerged as the two most successful teams of Serbia. Nowadays, a rivalry in the field of football represents more than football itself to its fans, who are commonly divided by their political and social views. Flares and pyrotechnics light up the stadium, and this fierce rivalry often results in violent clashes. While Red Star has bragging rights with 68 victories, Partizan does not give up in front of their fierce fans. Number 3. Barcelona versus Real Madrid. The El Clásico between Barcelona and Real Madrid is not a sporting clash, but a cultural and political divide between Catalonia and the Spanish state. This tension dates back to the Spanish Civil War, when Catalonia symbolized independence and Madrid represented central power. Every Clásico game is filled with passion, sometimes inflammatory, such as in the case of a player transfer across teams, which has historically raised the temperature of the match. One infamous incident involved the Luis Figo transfer from Barcelona to Real Madrid, where even a pig's head was thrown onto the pitch. El Clásico has, bit by bit, become a world event watched by millions and pitted some of the best football talent in the world against each other. Number 2. Celtic versus Rangers. The Old Firm Derby in Glasgow between Celtic and Rangers is as much about religion and politics as it is about football. Traditionally, Celtic is a Catholic and Irish-aligned club, while Rangers draws a fan base that is mostly Protestant and Unionist. This almost automatically puts extra heat on their games, since each derby carries major social impact. Celtic and Rangers together have won 107 league championships, proof of their dominance in Scottish football. This is one of the oldest, most intense derbies dating back to 1888. The fans take immense pride in their heritage that is tied to their teams, and every match represents much beyond an ordinary game of soccer. Number 1. Boca Juniors versus River Plate. Arguably the most intense rivalry, particularly between Argentinian clubs Boca Juniors and River Plate, is called the Super Clásico. This is a match watched far beyond Buenos Aires, across South America, and around the world by fans eager to see these two clubs clash. That rivalry spilled over into fever pitch in 2018, when their Copa Libertadores final was moved to Madrid following an attack by fans against the team bus, underlining the potentially explosive character of the Super Clásico. Contests at both Boca's La Bombonera and River's El Monumental are filled with chants and passionate support. To the followers of Boca and River, the Super Clásico means life and identity. The players know one goal might raise them to the status of hero or villain. Which of these do you think was the fiercest rivalry? We would love to know as we read through your comments down below. Do not forget, also, to subscribe to Footy Frenzy for more surreal football stories from around the globe.